What up, Fab Fanatics? On it here, back with some more Flesh and Blood content. Today we're going to finish off the rest of the case that we started last week, that also started with our first Fabled pull, the Arknight Shard. We are going to do a case study today. There's been talk in the community that the shards and legendaries kind of have been clumped together in same boxes / same cases. So we're going to see if that happens here or not. We're also going to continue with our Majestic talk as we pull Majestics in these two boxes. We'll discuss kind of their tiering and where I feel they fit within their class and a possible impact on meta. So with all that being said, let's get to cracking some packs. All right, I hope to do a better job of talking today than I did on the last video, because kind of my brain was mush once I opened up the Arknight Shard. We're not going to do music again today, just because we're going to be doing, ideally, a little bit more commentary. Of course, the first 7 cards are all commons and common tokens. Put those there. We got Crane Dance, Sledge of Anvilheim, and a common foil hit and run. So I did make some errors in my commentary last week as well. Commons. I'm going to put the commons over here. Towering Titan, Stag for our first Majestic. As we know, this is definitely a tier 1 Majestic. I don't feel like it's quite found a home yet here in the United States, but it will see a lot of competitive play over the next couple months at Nationals. I think this is going to end up being a pretty solid card. Yeah, tier 1. Ooh, there we go. Metacarpus Node Cold Foil Majestic. This is the wizard equipment. Whenever you play a card with an effect that deals arcane damage, you may pay 1 resource. If you do, that effect deals that much arcane damage +1, and at the beginning of your end phase, destroy Metacarpus Node. Yeah, it has Arcane Barrier 1. What do I have this as? I think I have this as a tier 2 Majestic. It's not obviously the strongest equipment that we've received in Crucible of War, but it'll find its place in Wizard builds. Whoop. Double Majestic box. Nice. Or double Majestic pack. Can't complain about that. As I was saying, one of the things I was wrong about was I thought that the Flesh and Blood anniversary was in October for some reason. And in fact, when I looked it up, the welcome events, the world premiere, Promise of Plenty, Mandible Claw, and a foil rune chant. The world premiere for Flesh and Blood actually occurred on August 31st of 2019, which means our 1-year anniversary actually has already passed. But I do intend on moving forward, thinking that October was the anniversary month for some reason. And I will be doing some specials on the website and going to continue moving forward with my original plan. And then we'll just get into celebrating the anniversary, the 2-year anniversary in August next year. Benji, Barraging Bighorn, and Crush the Weak. There we go. I need to get this all organized. So we got our commons, the rares pile, common foils, and then we'll put our pulls over here. And the pulls include Majestics and foil rares. Rock Slide Trap, Rushing River, and common foil Bittering Thorns. Just humming right along. I must say, these 10-card packs, 24 per box, of course, it goes pretty quick, I must say. High speed impact, Dauntless, and a foil rare Dauntless, double Dauntless pack. We are getting closer and closer to the day of Unlimited being released. Of course, we have been working with Reaper Games on getting sealed product from them. Crane Dance, Towering Titan, and Common Foil Meet and Greet. I did just check the Reaper Games website. They do have Unlimited Arcane Rising and Welcome to Rathe available for pre-order. So if you're looking to get your hands on some Unlimited to expand your collection, head on over to Reaper Games, Meridian Skies, Etherize for our next Majestic. I have Etherize as a tier 2 Majestic. It is our first kind of counter spell in Flesh and Blood. Of course, costs 1 to play, pitches for 3, which is pretty strong for Wizard. Negate target instant card with cost 1 or less. I'm putting this as tier 2 right now just because there's so much uncertainty around you know, how counter spells will work in this game. It could possibly creep up into a tier 1, especially if Wizard ends up being a strong class in the Crucible of War meta. And then we have Foreboding Bolt. Foreboding Bolt. Say that 3 times quick. Foreboding Bolt. There we go. Zen State Token, Cindering Foresight, and a Tucklow Vision Workshop common foil. Dauntless, Crane Dance, and a common foil Brutal Assault. Just humming right along, about halfway through the box already. Had some pretty solid pulls. Mandible Claw right, Twinning Blade, there we go, 0 cost, pitches for 2. You may attack an additional time with target sword this turn. I believe we have Twinning Blade down as a kind of a tier 3 Majestic. I think this kind of falls in line with other super rares in the Warrior class. And then, of course, Blessing of Serenity, common foil. What's everybody's thoughts on Crucible of War so far? Have you been building your decks out with the new Crucible of War tools, Rushing River, Towering Titan, and a Rushing River common or rare foil? What's your favorite class with the new tools right now? Of course, I've been focused on Ranger, as I have been throughout my entire Flesh and Blood career, pretty much 6 months. Talishar, Unified Decree. I think we talked about Unified Decree in the last video. Cost 2, pitches for 2. Target weapon attack gains +3 with Reprise. I have Unified Decree as another tier 3 Majestic. Kind of fits into that kind of super rare-ish type profile. Common foil, or Flying Kick. I definitely think Ranger has gained some new tools to make it more relevant in the new meta. I believe Feign Death, as we talked about in the last video, is going to put in some serious work for Ranger. Dauntless, Reinforce the Line. Ooh, and a foil, Coax a Commotion. Nice. This is, I think, our second or third foil Coax a Commotion. This, of course, is, I believe, a tier 1 Majestic. It's not as strong as other generic Majestics in the first 2 sets. I think Legend Story Studios brought the power level down a little bit from, of course, Enlightened Strike in the first, Welcome to Rathe, and, of course, Command and Conquer in the second. I think they took note of those 2 really strong cards and, of course, the demand for those, and kind of ratcheted it down a little bit with Coax. I do still think this is a tier 1 Majestic, and, of course, it will be extremely powerful in certain builds, and, of course, possibly really fun to play in multiplayer format. Coax a Commotion, tier 1. Nice. That's a very nice pull. Cold foil Majestic equipment and a rainbow foil Coax. Promise of Plenty, Plasma Purifier. We discussed this as in our last video as well. Another Majestic. That's tier 3. Majestics galore. High Speed Impact, Tripwire Trap. Speaking of Ranger cards, I do think that there is a place in some Ranger builds. I've been so focused in Ranger builds that have been like highly aggro. I've actually had quite a bit of success over the last couple weeks with more of a mid-rangey aggro, playing more defense reactions, and the Pitfall Trap has been my trap of choice. Dropping cards, Dauntless, Promise of Plenty, and a foil, rainbow foil Benji, the Piercing Wind. Very nice. That's our first rainbow foil Benji. That is pretty. This is a heck of a box so far. Down to the last quarter of the box. See if we get any more spice to finish. High speed impact. Rattle bones. There we go. Another majestic. Pitches or cost 2, pitches for 1. Banish target Rune Blade attack action card from your graveyard. You may play it this turn. I believe I have this as a tier 2 majestic. I played against this card, and it can be quite powerful. Lead to quite a powerful turn, especially bringing back like something like an Arknight Ascendancy or 9th Blade of the Blood Oath. So tier 2 right now, with the possibility of creeping up into that tier 1 range, depending on how we see players utilizing it over the next couple of months. Oh, that's got a serious ding. Barraging Bighorn, Dauntless, and Out for Blood common foil. Sneaking through, wrapping up the first box here. Promise of Plenty. Oh, there we go. Gorgonian Tomb. Tome. It's Tome. It's a legendary card, of course. Pitches for 0. This is the first card in Flesh and Blood without a pitch value, without a defense or attack value. So that's the first time we've seen that right there. Gorgonian Tomb. Draw X cards where X is 1 plus the number of Gorgonian tomes in all graveyards. Go again. This kind of I feel like the jury's out on this card. It's definitely a mind tricks card. Will be very fun in multiplayer if everybody has one of these in your build. I would say this is obviously a tier 1 card right now, just because it is really strong as it is, just to be able to draw a card for free if you can figure out how to maximize it in your deck. I know in a deck like Ranger, where you have the ability to easily put this in Arsenal and then Azalea it back into your deck, it seems a little more feasible in a deck like that, whereas it could possibly get stuck in your hand, or stuck in your hand, or during an unwanted time in other builds. So almost lost my train of thought there a little bit. Cindering Foresight, Dauntless, and Sutcliffe's Research Note common foil. Final 2 packs. I'm definitely very impressed with this box so far. This case, really. Crane Dance, Maruvian Skies, and oh, there we go. Another foil majestic Plasma Purifier. We already talked about this and kind of skipped over it because this is, of course, the majestic that we pulled with our Arknight Shard. Final pack here, Promise of Plenty, Edge of Autumn, and Reinforce the Line. Rare foil. So let's go back over the box here. Whew. Got Benji. Coax. Twinning Blade, Aetherize, Dauntless. Wow, so we had a 3 foil majestic box, Plasma Purifier, Coax, and Metacarpus Node, or Gorgonian Tome and Snag, and then 5 other majestics. So this ended up being a 10 majestic box. That is pretty strong, and I cannot complain about that, especially with 5 rare foils with the Benji. Woo-wee! All right, we'll just keep these piles here and crack back into the second box of the video and the last box of the case. So here we go, final box, 24 more packs. Let's see what kind of spiciness we can pull. I see something shiny already. High speed impact, cash in. Oh my gosh. Wow, look at that. So it did happen. It did happen, ladies and gents. We have a Arknight Shard and a Shyana case. The case study proved to be true. They are come together in this case. Wow, I lost my train of thought once again. Oh, she is beautiful. This is such a gorgeous, gorgeous card. It's going into a sleeve, right into a top loader, and I'll do my best to not lose my train of thought like I did last time. I'll leave you right here. just because you're so pretty. Wow, that was first pack, top pack of the 4th and final box of the case was a Shiana. Woo! Wow, all right, high speed impact, Aether Conduit, and Predatory Assault. Oh man, so yeah, there you go, on camera, a Shard and a Shiana in the same case. Dauntless, Cindering, Foresight, and Torrent of Tempo. That is the second Shiana we've pulled. So we've been really fortunate and very lucky with our Crucible of War boxes so far. This is the end of our 6th case that we've opened for Fab Foundry. Towering Titan, Absorption Dome, and look at that, a Dread Triptych. Majestic foil behind it. Absorption Dome we have as a tier 2 Majestic. Of course, it costs 0. Pitches for 2, enters the arena with steam counters on it equal to the number of times you boosted this turn. I believe the Crucible of War dash is definitely being pushed towards a lot of boosting. I can see this being very relevant in boost builds. Have it at tier 2 right now, like I said, and we'll see where it goes from there. And Dread Triptych, of course, costs 3, pitches for 3. If you played a non-attack action card this turn, create a rune chant. If you've dealt arcane damage this turn, create a rune chant. And if Dread Triptych hits, create a rune chant. Attacks for 4, defends for 3. I have this as a tier 2 Majestic right now. It's you know, costing 3 is pretty heavy cost for an attack. So we're gonna see how this plays out in Runeblade. Actually, Runeblade is the next deck that I'm building, so I'll get to be able to play test some Dread Triptych here pretty soon and have a better feel for the card in the near future. Cindering, Foresight, Barraging Bighorn, and Common Foil Riled Up. Woo-wee! Another Barraging Bighorn, Reinforce the Line, and Common Foil Soulbreed Strike. What a box and what a case. Cash in, Righteous Cleansing for our next Majestic. Costs 7, pitches for 2. Righteous Cleansing we have as a tier 3 Majestic. It has Crush. If it deals 4 or more damage to a hero, look at the top 5 cards of their deck, banish 1 or more cards with the same name from them among them, then put the rest on the top of their deck in any order. Cost 7, swings for 10, defends for 3. Again, I kind of have this as a super rare dressed as a Majestic. Tier 3 level, it might be able to sneak into that tier 2 level depending on how Guardian pans out. Of course, I don't have much Guardian experience, so do take that into account. In a cold foil or rainbow foil, Barraging Bighorn. Right into the next pack, Reinforce the Line, another Tripwire Trap, and Common Foil Snapback. About halfway through our final box. Of course, got the Shiana and 1 foil Majestic, 3 non-foil Majestics, Rock Slide Trap, Promise of Plenty, and a Soul Bead Strike. Rushing River, Promise of Plenty, and a Common Foil Combustible Courier. You know, the tokens that show up in the first 7 commons, of course the tokens from the original 2 sets, don't really bother me too much when you just blast through the 7 cards. You don't really even see them. Russian River, Towering Titan, and a foil Zen State. Very nice. This is such a beautiful foil, and I posted these as soon as I opened my Zen States. I posted them to the website and they disappeared really quickly. I think I might have to hold on to this one myself for when I play Ninja, because I do plan on playing the Find Center line. That has to be one of my favorite foils in the game now. I'm just seeing it right now. It is just absolutely stunning. It's definitely high up on my list. But does it beat Shiana? No, definitely not. Definitely not as high as Shiana. Let's be honest. Crane Dance, Cavdian Trader of Skins, and Emerging Dominance Rainbow Foil Common. Rushing River, another Dread Triptych. We've talked about it already, and a Predatory Assault. Just blasting through packs here. Reinforce the Line, Zephyr Needle, and Combustible Courier Foil Common. Down to the last third of the box. As always, thank you very much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. It means so much to us. We obviously would not be here if it weren't for the support that we've received from the community from the very beginning, from our very first video, which we're coming up on our 6-month anniversary of. Cindering Foresight, Rushing River, and Common Foil Sleep Dart. And of course, I aim to continue getting better at this and getting more comfortable behind the camera and doing a better job of commentating. It's definitely becoming a passion of mine, on top of being able to support the community in the secondary market. Barraging Bighorn, another Cokes of Commotion. Can't complain about pulling generic Majestics, that's for sure. We talked about this earlier, being a tier 1 Majestic. Towering Titan Rainbow Foil. Towering Titan, Remorseless. There we go. This is a card that I've wanted to talk about because I feel that this card is slightly undervalued right now, particularly because Ranger obviously isn't a top tier deck. And so I believe it's undervalued in that sense, but within the Ranger class, obviously between Red in the Ledger and this and Remorseless, that's 6 cards that are pretty much must-haves in, I believe, in competitive builds. Of course, cost 1, pitches for 1, hits for 5, defends for 3. If Remorseless is put into your arsenal face up until end of turn, it gains defense reactions, can't be played from arsenal to Remorseless's chain link, severely limiting your opponent's ability to block this card, especially if you can send it over pumped and dominated. And of course, if Remorseless hits a hero until the end of their next turn, whenever they play an action card, they lose 1 life. That's going to be huge against your go wide builds, against other Rangers, against Ninja, against I guess you could probably include Warrior in there and maybe Dash a little bit, but you know, that's at the Pew Pew Dash, not so much. But if you go Boost Dash, definitely strong against those decks. I have Remorseless, of course, particularly because I'm a Ranger player as a tier 1 Majestic. And of course, the Teklovision's workshop behind it. Maruvian Skies, Harmonized Kodachi, the right one, so you can have the dual Harmonized Kodachis, and Combustible Courier. There I go again, knocking over my Tower of Commons. Combustible Courier, Foil Common. Red Liner, Crane Dance, and a Foil Common Tripwire Trap. We do have a lot of fun updates and plans for the Fab Foundry website. I'm currently researching and hopefully we'll be implementing a new template through the Shopify platform, making the shopping experience and the card hunt experience much more streamlined. Dauntless, Reinforce the Line, and there we go, a Rainbow Foil Snag. We talked about this earlier being a tier 1. It's just, I don't think it's found its place in decks yet. Of course, pitch or cost 0, pitches for 3. Attack action cards can't gain attack from their own effects or effects of attack reaction cards. This is going to be big against Ninja and Warrior for sure. Wow, this is a heck of a box, a heck of a case. Definitely have nothing to complain about in life right now. And as I say that, I see another cold foil. Centauri Saber, Plasma Barrel Shot, and there we go. The Harmonized Kodachi, the rare version with the gray rare symbol. So I think that's a slight misprint. The right side. Nice, very nice. So a 2 cold foil box. Final 3 packs. I mean, I will be completely content if these end up being all commons. I can't really, you know. Towering Titan, High Speed Impact are rares, I mean. And a common foil Rune Chant. I have no problem with the rest of this box just settling and finishing to a close. Barraging Bighorn, hey, or not. A Flood of Force, Majestic, of course, and we have Flood of Force as, I believe we talked about this in the last video, as a tier 3 Majestic. It's a combo piece, of course. If this is actually the first combo piece that I didn't realize that you can actually combo off of itself. But of course, these kind of third finalizing combo pieces are traditionally kind of in that super rare slot, along with your kind of Pounding Gales and your Hurricane techniques. So that's why we've kind of put that in tier 3. Final pack! As always, thank you very much for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and supporting. Tell your Fab friends about Fab Foundry and help us grow the channel so that we can continue to give back to the community and give more things away and hopefully host regional events in the near future. Maruvian Skies and Crush the Week to finish off the 4th and final box. So here we go. Foil Snag. 2 Cokes, Dread Triptych, Righteous Cleansing, another Dread. So we have a 6, 7, 8 Majestic box with a cold cold foiled Kodachi, Zen State Token, and of course the Shiana. So this is a Shard Shiana Crucible of War case. Man, I'm feeling pretty lucky right now. I will not be going to Vegas anytime soon, particularly because of the pandemic, but because I think I just used up all of my luck on this case. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, and take care. Until the next time.